What if there were a plan already written, already in motion that could completely reshape the United States government within months? A plan to remove thousands of federal workers, give the president sweeping new powers, roll back civil rights protections, and redefine the role of government from the ground up? It's not fiction. It's real. And it's called Project 2025. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something far more than just politics. It's a detailed plan that could change how America functions at its core. Project 2025 isn't just another campaign talking point. It's a nearly 1,000-page blueprint designed by conservative policy groups to reshape the U.S. government from the inside out. With the next presidential election approaching, this plan is already prepared for action on day one. From replacing federal workers with political loyalists to rolling back civil rights and dissolving entire agencies, Project 2025 outlines how a future administration, particularly under Donald Trump, could take control faster and more completely than ever before. In this video, we break down what Project 2025 really is, who's behind it, and why it could be one of the most important stories of our time. Project 2025 is a detailed and ambitious plan created by conservative think tanks, primarily led by the Heritage Foundation, to dramatically reshape the U.S. federal government. It's a political blueprint designed to be implemented if a conservative, particularly one like Donald Trump, returns to the White House. The goal is to centralize power in the executive branch, reduce the size of the federal bureaucracy, roll back civil rights protections, and redefine the role of government in society. The project is made up of a long document called Mandate for Leadership, which outlines a step-by-step plan for restructuring agencies, altering regulations, and installing loyal personnel who align with conservative values and priorities. At the heart of Project 2025 is the belief that the federal government has become too large, too unaccountable, and too ideologically left-leaning. It proposes giving the president far more direct control over agencies that traditionally operate with some degree of independence, such as the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Environmental Protection Agency, and others. One of the most significant strategies outlined is the reclassification of tens of thousands of civil service positions. This would allow a president to fire existing staff and replace them with people who are politically aligned with the administration, effectively turning nonpartisan positions into political ones. The plan doesn't stop at the administrative level. Project 2025 proposes to reshape American social policies in ways that critics argue could erase decades of civil rights progress. It calls for eliminating programs and policies that focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. It aims to remove government language and initiatives around gender identity and sexual orientation. In practice, this could mean rolling back protections for LGBTQ+ individuals, restricting reproductive rights, and enforcing a narrow definition of family and traditional values across public life, from education to healthcare to public service. One major area targeted for change is education. Project 2025 suggests dismantling or severely limiting the Department of Education. It wants to reduce the federal government's role in schools, giving more authority to states and parents. Federal enforcement of civil rights laws in schools would be weakened or removed. Curricula involving topics like race, gender, and sexuality could be banned or discouraged, with local districts gaining the power to remove what the plan calls ideological content. Programs like Head Start and special education funding would also be up for cuts or restructuring. On immigration, Project 2025 lays out an aggressive agenda. It supports reducing legal immigration, increasing deportations, and tightening border control through executive power. The plan suggests that the president could take more direct control of immigration enforcement, possibly even bypassing Congress. It also proposes limiting or ending programs that protect undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. In effect, it would make it easier for the executive branch to enforce immigration policy without the same checks and balances that currently exist. Economically, the project recommends slashing corporate taxes, reducing regulations, and moving toward energy policies that prioritize fossil fuels over renewable energy. It also proposes simplifying the tax code, potentially replacing it with a flat tax or national consumption tax. Environmental regulations would be rolled back significantly, with climate change policy treated as a lower priority or removed from federal strategy altogether. Critics of Project 2025 argue that it represents a dangerous consolidation of power that threatens democratic institutions. By putting so much control in the hands of the executive branch and removing protections for minority groups, the plan is seen by many as authoritarian in nature. Legal scholars warn that gutting the civil service and placing political appointees in formerly independent roles could turn the government into a tool for partisan enforcement rather than public service. Removing federal oversight from education and civil rights enforcement could lead to widespread inequality and discrimination. Supporters of the project argue that it would return control to the people by dismantling what they see as a bloated and ideologically biased federal government. They say the plan would make agencies more responsive to elected officials, reduce waste, and reflect the values of the voters who put conservatives into office. They believe that decentralizing power and eliminating regulatory overreach would lead to a more efficient and transparent government. Project 2025 also includes a 180-day playbook that provides a detailed timeline for enacting these changes quickly after a new administration takes office. The idea is to avoid the slow bureaucratic resistance that often stalls policy shifts. By acting swiftly, the administration could install new leadership, implement executive orders, and reorganize departments before opposition can mount. While the plan is not law, and many of its goals would require congressional support or could face legal challenges, the mere existence of such a detailed and sweeping proposal has already influenced political conversations. It has become a rallying point for the conservative movement, as well as a warning for progressives and moderates concerned about the future of American democracy. Project 2025 is more than just a policy wish list. It is a vision for a different America, one where the presidency holds more power, federal agencies are reined in or dismantled, and cultural values shift dramatically. Whether it becomes reality will depend on elections, public response, court challenges, and how far a future administration is willing to go in testing the limits of executive authority. Whether you see Project 2025 as a necessary overhaul or a dangerous power grab, one thing is clear: it's not just a theory. It's a plan, it's written, and it's ready. As the next election draws near, it's crucial to stay informed about what's really at stake. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more deep dives into the issues shaping our future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.